disciplinary type school. And getting here was like going to heaven when you were in the 4th grade. And people were so friendly, the whole attitude was so relaxed. And you had a chance to be yourself. We had very small classes where I had classes of 30 people. And I was a very shy child. I didn't want to speak up. I had some kind of terrible experiences in that school up until the 3rd grade. So when I got here, my teacher was Mrs. Mabel Gender. You had Mrs. Gender too by the time you got to the 3rd grade. And she had been trained by Mrs. Johnson. So some of the teachers we had at that period were really just sort of new to the whole theory and were not as aware of all the principles of organic education as the old timers like Mrs. Gender. So luckily in my class, that small class, there were about 6 of us who stayed together all the way through high school years. And by the time we graduated, I think there were 12 or 13 of us. But that 6 was a real strong nucleus. At least 3 of those girls were second-generation organic. Their parents had been through the school and were very committed to the idea of the school. So we were always talking about what was organic and what wasn't organic. And I had something to compare it to, having come from the public school environment. So I always appreciated it. We just loved going to school. We'd rather be in school than have the summer vacations. Do you remember Cleanup Day? This was one of the things.
Sure.
That I think that was our first introduction to it. That like a couple of days before school started, we got a notice that there was Cleanup Day on the campus and everybody was expected to be there. So really it was just sort of janitorial service. They didn't have the money to have maintenance staff, and it was a very organic kind of event.
I've told people about that. I've talked about that. You know, and it's funny how you learn to work, and that was one of the ways we learned to work was cleanup day. Everybody coming, everybody pitching in, and people say, "You mean the students would come to the school before school starts
and rake
and
mow the grass,
burn, do the stuff the janitor?" Well, yes. Well, why? Well, because it's our school.
And the teachers were right along with us.
The teachers and the parents and
washing windows, and it was a wonderful atmosphere. And then
you didn't get a lot of phony ideas about who your teachers were, because that's what they look like when they're sweating and they're dragging blackberry vines out. And we're all sort of in this together kind of a feeling you had. Cleanup Day, I think, was one of the probably most valuable days of school as far as pointing everybody in the sort of same direction.
They did this, I think at the semester break too, but before the school started, and there was that feeling of anticipation. You knew there were always going to be a few new teachers around. You could get a look at what the new teachers were going to be like, and there'd be some kids who hadn't been around last year maybe. There was always a flow of people in and out of the school, and a lot of times parents would send children that had some problem in their school, some learning disability or just a misfit to the school because they just hoped the healthy environment would benefit them. And you never knew. Some of these kids would go straight on through, and you could watch their improvement in the class, because part of our job as organic students was to work with these people. You never knew who they were going to be or what they were really like. They may have all kind of troubles when you first met them or be obnoxious or something, but you had to teach them how to behave by exposing them to what the real world is like. So that goes with you forever, and those feelings of what you described, of seeing the grown-ups at work too, and we're all pitching in.
It's not punishment, and you don't even have to do it. Guess what? You don't have to do any of it. But here it is, and you know, the academic exactly the same. You know, here it is, and we're all doing it, and let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
But